We may be live at any point. So we'll see what happens here. I've got my coffee. I'm on my third cup. No wonder I'm getting a little wacky.
Oh my. Well, in my Starbucks today. The Starbucks kind of day.
Now that it's a little cooler.
Chai tea latte. Oh, so much cooler.
It's wonderful that it's a little cooler. Did you see the weather in Colorado? Today it's in Denver. It's going to be 93 in Colorado, in Denver, excuse me. Tomorrow, 36 and snow.
What?
Yeah, their high today is 93. Their low is 33. And then they have snow tomorrow. And then by the end of the week, they're back up in the mid 80s. Oh, hi, everybody. We're having a Colorado weather forecast.
Crazy
girl. Oh, let's see. How are you, birthday girl?
I am doing just great. Thank you.
Good, good, good. I am.
Birthday.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday. But I'm going to spare the group. Going to spare the group. I already sang to Lori once, and that's about all she could handle. That's about all anybody could handle. It'd be like taking me around back and shit me.
Well, this is proof that I was born to talk about compliance, because here we are on my birthday, on Labor Day, and we're here doing Monday morning compliance. I was born.
We are. And I gave her the option. I gave her the option for nothing today. And and we got Janet, we got Tom Berge. Oh, we got all kinds. We have other people, but I don't know. It's just those two put things in the comments. So wish Lori a happy birthday in our comments, so she will feel loved, because we all love our compliance queen.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Always feel the love.
Did you see the picture I did with the birthday hat?
No, I have not. I have not checked Facebook yet, because that's
it's out there, and there's not a darn thing you can do about it.
Okay. Oh dear. Okay.
I'm scared. Oh God.
I am a little scared.
It's a regular party going on here. We've got me and Diane Anthony and Farah. Oh my gosh. This is just so much fun. Okay.
My favorite people.
They are. They're just, you know what? We have such a good group here. Such a good group. And Barbara Mills Dubois, I love saying her name. She wishes you a happy birthday too. But right before we came on, Lori said her head was going to explode.
Yes. So, you know, I try to have a pretty normal, healthy diet throughout the week. And come Fridays, I just want the worst, greasiest food. And I figured out why. So this last Friday, I'm on the CAR town hall meeting, and my head was going to explode. And all I could think about was some greasy food to make me feel better.
Why didn't you call me? You know, that's my specialty.
Oh man, I thought, why do I always crave greasy food on Fridays? And so the reality is there has been so many crazy things this year that when we get on these meetings, it's very educational. I love it. I'm not complaining about the meetings at all. But in the middle of it, I just thought my head's going to explode today. And it was all surrounding AB 3088, which is the Tenant Relief Act of 2020. So as a broker who has a property management division with a decently healthy portfolio, and as an owner with an investment property, I'm very concerned about these things. And listening to it, we've got state rules, we've got local rules, now we have federal rules, and these are all temporary laws that are very complicated. You can listen to it, think you understand it, and then wait, let's throw in this wrench. So my head was about to explode. So I'm not going to talk about this topic today and educate everybody on it, because it's very complicated. And the number one rule is have your client talk to an attorney. If they have any situation going on with their tenants right now, have them talk to an attorney. But if you want to learn about this, CAR is doing a webinar on Thursday. It is, and I've already posted in the Facebook page the links to several webinars I'm going to talk about. But Thursday from 1:30 to 3, they're covering COVID-19 Tenant Relief Act in depth. They already have a Q&A posted, and it's 21 pages. I've not yet read it. I didn't realize it was 21 pages.
Is that how you're going to celebrate your birthday?
I'm not going to do that today. No.
Yeah, I know you're kind of weird that way.
My tenant paid rent. They have been paying rent, so I'm not that worried about it. But I was visiting some family yesterday, and my sister's mother-in-law has a rental property, and her tenant's not paying rent. And so, we had a lengthy conversation, and I just feel badly for people because if you're an owner right now and your tenant's not paying, there's not a lot you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. So this webinar is going to be great. I'm also going to plug the Independent Broker Alliance webinar that we're doing tomorrow. Sorry, it's a forum, but it'll be via webinar. So the Independent Broker Alliance is a group from Orange County Realtors. You do not have to be an independent broker. You do not have to be a broker to attend our forums. So please attend. If you are at all interested because you have an investment property or you do property management or our clients have investment properties, we have to know this information anyway, even if it doesn't specifically apply to our day-to-day business. Clients will ask you, what's going on? Maybe I was thinking of buying an investment property, but I'm hearing all this craziness with tenant rights. What do you know about it? They're going to ask you. So I encourage you to attend that as well. That's tomorrow, Tuesday from 11:30 until 1. We have the law offices of Kimball, Tyree, and St. John, who are very well known in Orange County as landlord-tenant rights attorneys, focusing on the landlords specifically, and they're going to help us navigate this new law, but also some other issues pertaining to landlord-tenant rights. So to say my head was going to explode is no joke. It's a lot, and it has a time frame through end of March, but that doesn't mean it won't get extended. So we need to know what's going on and understanding it. So that was that. That was most of the call on Friday, to be quite honest. There wasn't really any other topics of conversation, that were noteworthy because that was so complex. So exciting, huh?
Well, Janet said that her head's going to explode right along with you. And you're going to
glad I'm not alone
later because it's all birthday wishes.
Oh, thanks everybody. Thanks everybody.
So get ready to spend your week watching webinars. Is that kind of the word?
Yeah. The other webinars that I want to talk about, the link that's in the Facebook group for the CAR page, it's car.org/riskmanagement/live. That's where you're going to go to register for the COVID-19 Relief Act webinar, which is Thursday. But they also have an archive of recorded webinars. So the most recent one was the recording of the annual conversation with the Department of Real Estate, and it's with the new commissioner. And I haven't yet had the opportunity to watch it myself. They're usually 60 to 90 minutes. So I'm going to be taking a look at that probably tomorrow. But they also, I discovered, had one on fair housing that I missed, and it was from August. And I listened to the first 2 minutes just to find out, how current was it, and they referenced, all of the unrest that's going on right now, how timely that conversation was going to be. And when I scrolled down to look for the details on it, it was recorded in August. So there's a lot of good information there. It's wonderful to be able to come to our sessions and to come to our group and get sort of the Cliff Note version of things from me, but it doesn't replace, us continuing to educate ourselves. And so I encourage everybody to watch those webinars. And, when I hear any of the great highlights, important notes that you don't want to miss, I'll be sure to always let this group know, and others too.
Perfect. And Becky asked for the name of the attorneys, but I said you'll put it into the comments when we're done, so we can have all of that there. And you also posted the links already into the Facebook group. So yeah. You guys can go on and check. It's a recent post. It went on right before we went live, maybe by about 10-15 minutes. So you can find it all there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anything else making your head explode?
No, not explode.
Anything else making you happy?
Yeah. So we want to talk about fair housing. Do you want to cover that though?
No, you talk about it because I want to hear what they said. I'm just going to sit back here and listen.
Okay.
Make the birthday girl work.
We work on Labor Day. This is not a labor-free Labor Day. So last week I mentioned that on a previous town hall meeting, they announced the new Fair Housing Advisory, and I have read it, and it's awesome. It's on my desk somewhere. Fair Housing and Discrimination Advisory. So we talked, very briefly about it last week, how in our listing agreement and in our purchase agreement, there's one sentence. Well, it's like 2 lines. It's like 2 sentences covering 2 lines, 1 paragraph about fair housing. And
it's really about 1 line.
Yeah,
Not much.
It may be depending.
They didn't say much. It's just like
it really does not say anything.
like there's laws. Go check it out.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
So this advisory, I've read through it. It's really good. When we think about the concept of our listing agreements and our purchase agreements and our lease agreements having 1 line, and then we see a 2-page, beautiful, 2 full pages that in paragraph 2 identifies Federal Fair Housing Act, California Fair Employment and Housing Act, California Unrest Civil Rights Act, Americans with Disabilities Act, and then point 5, other fair housing laws, and they go to reference the civil codes where these laws are referenced. How did we only have 1 sentence? We've got 4 acts and multiple laws. And oh, by the way, paragraph 5 talks about the California Department of Real Estate and compliance with the business and professions codes. And then paragraph 6 talks about the Realtor Organization's Code of Ethics. How did we only have 1 sentence? So this form is long overdue. They give some wonderful examples of unlawful or improper conduct. They give some really good examples that we all have witnessed. Maybe we've even accidentally done. There is, let me count them because it's lettered, so it's not numbered. 16 different examples. And then they have examples of positive practices, which are really good. Then there's a bunch of resources that, again, cover federal, state, local, DRE, and local association of realtors, references on where we can learn more about this. And then it does mention some exceptions to the laws, but it very clearly says talk to an attorney, because we as the agents don't want to misinterpret these exemptions and assume that somebody qualifies for an exemption or not. So I'm really looking forward to this coming out. It's supposed to be released the first week of October, and it is for your buyers, your tenants, your sellers, your landlords to sign. Honestly, I think there should be an agent version. If anyone on Standard Forms is listening, or strategic planning is listening.
Strategic planning.
We probably need that.
Okay.
So look for that. That will be coming out soon. They've not released it publicly. Just a small group of people were able to get the samples, and I'm really impressed. So the group that spearheaded this, you know who you are. Congratulations, well done. And thank you to Strategic Planning for pushing this forward, and for CAR for making it happen. Because remember, we don't have full control of zip forms anymore. This form would be available probably this week if we had that full control of zip forms. But it's under Lone Wolf now, so we've got to work through them to get it actually published. But it'll be coming out pretty soon.
Now, just out of curiosity, what are your favorite couple of examples there?
Well, I read it a couple days ago. There's a reminder about the letters, the buyer love letters, and it's referenced as a not a positive practice. I don't remember. I'd have to read through it again.
Well, you know what I think we need to do as soon as the form comes out where everybody can read it, because right now that's kind of like a little secret form that only a couple of people have access to. And I guess ours is kind of like a black market kind of form here. But but when it comes out, I think we'll probably do a whole talk about it for Monday Morning Coffee and Compliance, so everybody can can go through the form together with us, and we can talk about things on it. And I think it's very timely, something that we should have had a long time ago. And I'm just as pleased as can be. And on that note, I'm going to put a link in the comments for our latest Facebook group, kind of a companion to the Nerdy Realtors. This one is called Deliberately Fair Housing, and the people that put together the proposal for the fair housing form put together this group. And I am so just unbelievably amazed that we already have over 160 people in this group that I think was put out for the first time last Thursday?
Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah. And we've already got, and we're talking all kinds of people. We've got, like Mary Lee Blaylock from, Berkshire Hathaway, and Leslie Appleton Young. She was one of the first people to hop in and join. And, this is, plus we got realtors from all over. And I want to invite anybody who's watching this, anybody who's in the nerdy group, if you want to be on top of what's happening regarding fair housing, what's happening regarding Black home ownership and minority home ownership, LGBTQ home ownership. We're going to have a book club. In fact, the book club is going to be really good. Its first book is Race for Profit. Race for Profit. Hang on a second here. Oh my gosh, hope things don't fall over. Race for Profit. This is going to be our first book, and we're going to figure out a date in October based on when the CAR meetings are. We don't want anything to overlap, but you can start reading now, and it comes in on Amazon Prime, get it overnight. And this is some shocking stuff. There's a lot of history that we don't talk about that we need to know, especially as realtors. There's a lot of really crappy stuff that happened in the past. And this book, I'm not too far into it yet, but just a couple of chapters that I'm into, just getting through the introduction was just like, oh crap. And, there's some stuff that's a little reminiscent of, from here, what happened in the recession, minority groups getting taken advantage of. But this is really a read. This is a read. So join us, Race for Profit. Have it done by mid-October. We'll have a date for you soon. So, but join us in the group. We'd love to have you. And it's going to be a little different. We're going to keep, nerdy stuff over here with nerdy. We're going to keep fair housing stuff kind of over there, a little overlap, but it's, it's a good group, and knowledge is power. Just remember that. It will help you do your job better. And let me put it in there. Race for Profit. That's the name of the book. I will pick, just look up Race for Profit. You can find that. Okay. So what else is going on, Lori?
So I wanted to do a very quick COVID update, just because we know that certain things are opening up more. So there's been some questions as to whether the, our guidance has changed. And so I wanted to just mention that briefly, that the Cal OSHA and California Department of Public Housing updated their industry guidance on July 29th. But have not updated it since. And so when I reread that guidance back in July, and they're talking about property showings, they are still keeping with the same language that suggests open houses are not allowed. Now I say it that way because they don't say you cannot do open houses. They said that very briefly, just no open houses. Then they removed the word no. Which sort of opened up a box of, well, then maybe it looks like we can. So I just want to reiterate, what their guidance actually says. When it talks about showing properties, it still states use an appointment or digital sign-in process to control the number of people in the house, utilize virtual tours via digital technologies, social media, etc., in lieu of property showings or open houses whenever possible. If virtual tours are not feasible, limit the number of people. Let's see, there's a couple more. I have to scroll down. They still talk about using digital documents. All information must be delivered electronically. Discontinue providing handouts or other types of promotional information. You know, so they're still keeping with the, this is not the way you should be conducting business. Now, they do say whenever feasible, whenever possible, which then leaves it open for people to consider that they can actually conduct open houses, but that has not been the guidance. Now, CAR has a quick sheet. It's a one-page quick sheet. I know you can't read it, but if you've not seen that, that's in their risk management section. And they have in this sheet, which is updated July 13th, step 2, do not hold traditional, in quotes, traditional open houses or showings that are open to the general public on a walk-in basis. Use an appointment or digital sign-in process to control the number of people. If you're going to hold a non-traditional open house, then any open house signs or ads must include a rider or express condition that appointment or digital sign-in are required before entry. So I know there's been a couple of questions recently about, well, you know, then if we just do it digitally, then we're good. Well, remember, we still have public perception. We still have the agent population, who many of which believe this is not acceptable practice yet. The guidance doesn't clearly say you can hold an open house. So watch out for your peers because they are going to look at that and potentially believe that you are working outside of the guidelines. So be careful on that. There was a comment in the chat on Friday's town hall that said the DR, and there was no details other than that they heard that DRE filed an action against an agent for violating showing rules. And they posted like right at the end. So nobody had an opportunity to talk about that. So I'm going to watch that DRE commissioner interview that was done last week and see if maybe it was referenced there. If not, I'm going to do some research and see what I can find on that.
Good, because, you know, the more I hear about it, and this is coming from realtor, my whole MO was open houses and door drops on flyers. So everything that I did, I cannot do. And you know what? I am perfectly cool not doing open houses anymore. I personally think that if you have a listing that somebody's living in, the last thing in the world you want to do is have an open house, because I think that's where a lawsuit's going to come from. Somebody's going to come home from an open house, you know, a week later, they've got all the symptoms of the Rona, and, you know, the next thing you know, they're on a ventilator, and who are they going to come after? You know, because you're the listing agent, but now we've put a lot of onus onto the, you know, the buyer's agent in the first place, which is not good because we don't know how good something's going to be cleaned. But if you're a listing agent, you're perpetuating people coming into somebody's home. And we know right now, yeah, the numbers have kind of plateaued. They put out some really scary COVID numbers this week. And I want to say it's the University of Washington model, which is usually kind of on the low side for the numbers, said they're expecting over 400,000 COVID deaths by the end of this year. So based on that, the models are kind of like, okay, we're kind of plateauing here, about 1,000 deaths a day, like that's acceptable, and 40,000 cases a day. To hit 400,000, that means we're going to be seeing tons of new cases. This is not a joke. It's not going to be over on election day. You need to think that you do not know how many asymptomatic people are walking into a property. You can take their temperature all day long. That does not mean that they're still not walking around throwing COVID germs all over a house, even through a mask or whatever. So, you know, I'm in no rush. I don't see the point. I see that we have buyers coming out now, kind of going back to the, well, hey, I want to take a look at your property. Great. Well, why don't you sign this PED form and maybe prove to me that you're able to buy? Oh, no, no, no. And then you never hear from them again. So we've gone back to the looky-loo buyer. And the looky-loo buyers are preying on the listing agents that are going to let them in without any electronic contact, thinking that, you know, kind of that old mentality anyhow is, oh, well, that listing agent's going to be so eager to make a commission that they're going to bypass all the rules and just let me in. And I'm seeing that happening with an agent that I'm mentoring this weekend. Happened to me on my listing. People were just coming out of the woodwork, and I hadn't seen that until just recently. Before, everybody was being very loyal to their agents, understanding that they need a realtor to get them in, but we're starting to see the looky-loos come back. So watch yourselves out there with them. If they're not willing to tell you who they are and give you an email for a PED, what makes you think that if you're sitting in front of the house with a clipboard full of PEDs that you're having people sign, which, let's see, I think you're breaking rules right there. What makes you think that these people are actually going to give you the correct contact information? So think about it, put on what could possibly happen to me kind of hat for how many ways would I get sued if I sat here and let people into a virtual appointment only open house? You're not going to pick up clients. Let's face it. You're not going to pick up clients. And that's why we do open houses, is so we can pick up buyers. So let's just have that let's be real conversation. It's really not worth it. And even on a vacant house, it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's a hard thing because I know people are feeling the pressure that they should be doing more. They should be open, like, you know, our state is opening up, you know, we've got certain counties that are starting to open up other businesses at a greater capacity than before. And so it gives us that sense that, well, life's going back to normal, so we should be able to do this, but we really can't. And I think it is really important to understand that when people are living in the home, there's just more risk. There's more risk to them. And, you know, as a brokerage, you know, we made that decision that we would not, if we've been fortunate, like all of our properties that we've had listed, they've been vacant or about to be vacant, and we timed it where it was vacant. I don't think we've had any in the last 4 months that had people living in them.
I had one, that was the one that had 19 people through. I sat there and camped myself in the property with wipes in one hand, a KN95 mask on, and a can of Lysol in the other. And I used the entire can of Lysol that weekend. It was just ridiculous. And then the whole time I was there, I felt guilty. I was just like, what if? And what about me? And what about my clients? And I'm finding that there's really no need. The market's hot enough. You don't need an open house. The only thing you're advertising is yourself. You're not helping that property sell, because guess what? That property is going to sell with or without an open house. If you did your job right, you're honest with your clients, you tell them to price it right, you make it look pretty. All you got to do is price it right, make it look pretty. Boom, house is going to sell. The people that are doing open houses, and I hope I'm not offending anybody in this group, the people that are doing open houses are doing it for themselves. That's all they're doing it for. They're not helping their seller. They're not really helping the public. They're doing it for themselves, thinking they're going to pick up clients. You ain't going to pick up any clients, because the clients that are out there showing up are not going to use you as an agent. That's just, I've dealt with enough of that for the past couple of weeks. People are just out there doing looky-loo business. Excuse me. It's not worth it. It's not worth putting yourself in that position so the neighbors can see you holding an open house and you pissing off 3/4 of the neighborhood. Because guess what? They're not going to list with you when it's time, saying that person was careless and they didn't care. Because we hear all of the loud people. We're not understanding there's a whole lot of quiet people that are perfectly content not leaving their homes, not being exposed to germs, not being exposed to whatever. And those are the people that are watching out their windows saying, I wouldn't use that agent because they're careless and they're reckless. And as Mary Jane just said, and how does it make our industry look?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'll get off my soapbox.
No, it's an excellent point. It's an excellent point because I think we forget about that sometimes. You know, what people see impacts their opinions on things, whether that's our peers, whether that's the consumers, and it's a touchy world right now. And so no matter what you do, you're going to upset part of the population. So it's a matter of what is in the best interest of your business, what makes the most sense. There's a number of other ways to make connections with people. And you're absolutely right. If a property is priced and I was going to say staged, but it doesn't have to be staged. If the condition looks sellable, it will sell. And I'm hearing from some of my broker clients, you know, they can't even compete. You know, they're offering 20 grand over list price. And then they're being told, well, unless you offer another 60 grand, we're not even going to counter you. Yeah. So an $80,000 spread, you know, in a $600,000 price range is a lot of money. And so, you know, some of my broker clients are saying, you know, I'm actually having to have the conversations with my buyers. We need to look in a lower price point because we can't compete otherwise. If we're looking at the top of our price point and we're being outbid by 20, 40, 60, 80,000, then we've got to look lower. And nobody wants to do that, but that's the reality right now.
Yeah, that is definitely the reality. And depending on the area, I think is in what it is going to depend on what you're going to see. But my last buyer had to pay $35,000 over asking with no appraisal contingency and as is no repairs. And that's what we had to do. And, you know, Mary Jane put buyer remorses on the horizon. Yeah, you know, honestly, if I have another buyer, if I have a first time buyer right now, I'm just going to say, you know what, why don't we just kind of wait a little bit? I think we're going to see, my own personal opinion, I think we're going to see a little bit of a balance in inventory. I've been noticing like this week, a lot more houses hitting the market. You know, people saying, oh, it's Labor Day weekend, I'm going to go hit the market. Well, you know, really, honestly, who wants to be out showing property when it's 111 degrees outside? I am so happy I have no buyers right now. I don't think this weekend's going to be the killer weekend that a lot of people think it's going to be just because of the weather, the air quality. Air quality is horrible. A lot of people, you know, depending on where you are in the state, you know, you may be evacuated right now. You know, I think we're going to see like this week a little bit calmer. I'm hoping that we're going to kind of go into a little bit of a fall slowdown because we need to take a breath. We just need, the market needs to kind of take a breath. And yeah, Harry said there's a lot of back on markets too. You're seeing, that's your buyer's remorse. The people saying, did I just do that? Get me out of here. And I think we're probably going to see more of that. We saw a lot of that in the May and June market, right? When everybody was able to come out and buy. They'd go out and they'd buy and they'd say, oh my God, what did I do? And cancel. And, you know, I think we're going to see a little bit more of that, but we really, I hope we take a breath for the buyer's sake, because especially first time buyers, you really want to have them happy and comfortable. Interest rates aren't going to go up for probably a couple of years right now. At least that's what the Fed's saying. So, you know, kind of just, you know, take it easy for a little bit. Get your sellers though educated as to what the market is doing though. I think that that's what really needs to be done, is prepare them to maybe not see that huge bidding war if things slow down a little bit. Let's see, Harry just said, I've talked clients out of the bidding because I could not justify the pricing. Yeah, and also it has to appraise too. And that's always an issue, but it's an interesting time. None of us have ever sold real estate during a global pandemic that people don't take seriously now. So let's just see what happens. Anything else going on?
About it. That's all I got.
That's pretty much all I've got, except for I'm going to talk about Harry Solomon's favorite subject. Harry, you better be sitting down and hang on to that desk. We had WomanUP last week.
Oh, yes. I forgot. I didn't write that down. I was planning we were going to talk about that.
Yes, yes, we had the most interesting time. It was really fun to hang out with our friends, but as avatars, it's losing a little something. It was interesting to attend a virtual conference. And if any of you are from EXP, which I'm not sure if we have any EXP people here or not, you guys know the platform because you guys have been using it for a couple of years. We did it with a conference of about 400 or so folks.
I think I saw 600 on day one.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was definitely interesting. The best thing about it was you could dance. You could dance anytime you wanted to dance. And boy, did I take advantage of that. But we had some fantastic speakers. And it was very, what do I want to say? Inspirational, but it just kind of recharges you. What did you think, Lori?
Yeah, I agree. You know, I loved the squads. That was so much fun. The nerdy squad was what, 45 people?
45 people, and I think we got the most shout outs of anybody.
We had a fabulous Facebook Messenger group that we were all just checking in with each other and commenting on the speakers and you know, encouraging each other. And the moving around during the platform during the conference was a little weird. It was cool, but it was weird. Mm-hmm. You could just like disappear out of a room and go to another room, kind of like the rapture, like just all of a sudden, poof, someone was gone.
that was the funniest thing. Lori and I were fortunate enough, we were asked to speak for a lunch and learn. And when it was over and everybody just started going to other rooms, they would just go, pop, 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 pop. And Lori's like, oh my God, it looks like the rapture is taking place. It's a virtual avatar rapture.
Yeah, there wasn't a pile of clothing, but you know, you get the point.
Well, you know, and instead of going to heaven, you were just going to the auditorium.
Yeah, you were to another room. You know, it's tiring when you go in person, but it fills you up because you're just engaging with people. Doing it online, it was tiring too. My feet were not tired, but my brain was tired because
well, what else was tired?
Yeah, that too. You know, because we were just in front of the computer for, I don't know, 6 hours a day. But the magic of WomanUP is just that feeling you get. Your heart is full, your mind is full, your soul is full, and you just leave there going, that was just pure magic. And you start reflecting back, and it's really hard for me, at least, to pinpoint, you know, these were the moments. There were a lot of amazing one-liners. I've got a notebook full of, you know, just one-liners that I thought, love that. We were able to chat throughout, you know, so we could post comments about the speakers, what they were saying. And although we missed out really on networking with new people, you know, meeting new people, I feel that we deepened a lot of relationships, especially this nerdy group through that Facebook Messenger thread. So I thoroughly enjoyed it.
It was good. It was really good. And yeah, the nerdy group, I had got to say, it was great having everybody in that thread because there's a lot of people that we really didn't know that well that we got to know far better. And what's going to be really cool is when we see each other in person sometime, maybe, you know, it's going to be, hey, now I get to actually meet you in person. But you know what? The business side of this, which I'm sure, you know, like we have these, you know, pictures of Harry Solomon posted of people coughing and throwing up, because that's the way Harry is. You know, there is a whole lot of connections that you make that is wonderful for referrals. Because now you know these people, you know them, you know where they are, you can, you know, say, oh, I have somebody going to the Bay Area. I know these people up, you know, in the Pleasanton area, or I know somebody in Oakland, or I know somebody down in San Diego, or maybe I know somebody in Colorado. You have met them, maybe not eye to eye, give them a hug type, you know, because we can't do that this year, but you have contacts that you've made. And when somebody says, hey, do you know an agent in, you know, Pleasanton? You can say, Yeah, I do. You know, Jennifer Branchini, you know, so you can pass that back and forth. And I'm sorry, my dog's barking. You can, you know, pick up a little referral fee and stuff like that. So you don't need that formal referral network. We have a great informal one just off of contacts and connections that we've made.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I thought it was great. And, you know, it was neat that the nerdies did get a lot of talk, because by far we were the largest group, and my dog's like barking like crazy and I have no idea why. I'm sorry, everybody. But it was really cool. It was really cool. So, you know, we're looking forward to keeping the nerdy squad going, and we'll be back next year, right?
Yep, even stronger.
Yeah.
We are scheduled to be live at the Paseo in Huntington Beach next year. So hopefully we'll be able to do that. It'll be August 31st through September 2nd. So about the exact same time next year. And it'll be awesome if we could do a real live beach party.
It really would be. That would really be good. But I can't just go slash samba, you know, and be rocking those moves, because I can't move like my avatar did.
We are going to have to seriously practice, though.
I think we're going to have to seriously practice.
That could be another wine tasting night.
We won't get into that on this group right now. I think we celebrated your birthday a little early.
We did.
We did.
We so did.
And, you know, if you're into peanut butter whiskey at all, don't mess with sheepdog. Don't mess with squirrel. Really don't mess with squirrel. Screwball all the way. Woo, woo, woo.
Yes, I'm the official taste tester, and wow, those other ones were bad.
Squirrel, bad.
Screwball is the one.
Screwball all the way. So, do we have anything else to talk about besides what we drink last?
No.
Well, then we'll make this quick so Lori can get on with her birthday celebration. But let's all wish Lori a happy birthday. Happy birthday to the compliance queen. And, you know, I wanted to do a little crown on her head. They do have birthday crowns on Canva. You know, it's like either it's a birthday hat or it's a crown. They didn't have a birthday crown. So I'm a little disappointed.
It's okay. It's
Which
the thought that counts.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so we're going to let everybody get on with their Labor Day. Stay inside. Don't breathe. Don't breathe for numerous reasons. You know, wear a mask because you could probably, you know, inhale who knows what. Not even COVID. We're talking just nasty. Oh God, it's getting worse. Nasty air outside. Everybody stay safe, stay cool, and we will see you next.
Hydrated.
Stay hydrated. Yes. Oh, and Janet says, thanks for taking the bullet on that peanut butter whiskey, Lori. Well, you know, I had to help her too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Believe me, though, there's a whole lot of squirrel and sheepdog left. If anybody wants it, just let us know.
I don't think we have it anymore, do we? Didn't we give it away?
I don't, did we?
I know we gave one away. I don't know if we gave both away. Anyways.
We're going to use squirrel to go water the plants.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this Labor Day and for helping me celebrate my birthday. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you so much. Love you all.
Have a nerdy birthday. Okay, everybody, take care. Bye.